Okay dudes, that concludes episode 108 of Dragon Ball Super. If you're watching this, welcome to my review of the episode. If you want to see my reaction before this review, link in the description below and you get access to my reaction, of course. Now let's talk about this episode. The way I would like to describe this episode is it threw us off completely. I mean, there were so many different things that the whole community was kind of predicting about this episode that may or may not have happened in this episode, but everything that we have predicted is out the window. Okay, except for one thing, of course, but we'll get to that. Let's talk about the episode and how it started first. Okay, so first of all, we get some scenes with Gohan. Gohan is fighting a robot, and I can't remember what universe he's from, but, you know, he had a little bit of trouble there. I mean, this episode, it showed, like, Gohan, you know, he still needs to step up his game, dudes. He really does. I mean, he struggled against that dude. But then we come to a scene where Gohan is confronted by the Yardrat. Now, this Yardrat, my god, I mean, I wasn't expecting him to put up such a great fight against Gohan. Actually, as a matter of fact, overpowering Gohan was something that I don't think a lot of us was expecting. I honestly thought Gohan was going to pound his ass into the ground, but I was wrong. I mean, this Yardrat, being a Yardrat, his experience with the instant transmission, of course, was nothing surprising there. He's an absolute professional, and he could use it, like, to the absolute mastery degree against Gohan. And honestly, Gohan had no chance against this dude. I mean, it was coming to a point where the Yardrat was going to eliminate Gohan, but then Frieza steps in. Of course, the first initial reaction of Beerus and the gang on the bench is that, okay, Frieza's here, we have nothing to worry about, Frieza will eliminate the Yardrat. But then, you know, Frieza kind of pauses for a little bit, and then Universe 7 on the bench start discussing perhaps maybe Frieza has a different scheme, maybe Frieza has an evil plan behind all of this. And we all know Frieza's endgame is not a good one. He never has good intentions because he's Frieza. And of course, they kind of put the pieces together, Supreme Kai more than anybody, saying that maybe Frieza has, you know, an evil scheme behind all of this. Maybe he's planning on, you know, becoming the last fighter in the tournament to get access to the Super Dragon Balls to make wishes beyond, you know, our imagination. Of course, and that obviously is Frieza's endgame. But of course, Frieza gives Gohan a chance and, you know, see if he can take on this Yardrat on his own, but as Gohan continued to fight, he gets pummeled once again by the Yardrat, and then the Yardrat was this close to eliminating Gohan, but then Frieza steps in and quite literally wipes the floor with this Yardrat so easily. I mean, it was effortless for Frieza. I mean, Frieza has shown throughout the episodes of this tournament that he's most definitely a force to be reckoned with. And in this episode, getting rid of that Yardrat was just easy pickings. It really was. But now we come to a scene where Frost steps into the equation, and then everybody's asking questions. Why is Frost here, and why are Frieza and Frost talking amongst each other like they have some sort of hidden agenda? Well, they did, at first. So we thought. Frieza made a plan with Frost to team up and take out the competition as they go along. Now this was kind of happening when Gohan was confronted by both Frost and Frieza, and it looked like we were going to get a 2-on-1 handicap match. But then Frieza says to Frost, would you like to take on Gohan? Would you like to do the honors? And Frost refers to Frieza as Senpai, which I quite like that because he respects Frieza. He sees Frieza as like an idol or a role model to look up to or whatever. But, you know, Frieza says, okay, you know, I'll take on Gohan. And then it seemed like Frieza was just going to kick Gohan's ass. And I actually genuinely thought Gohan was going to get eliminated by these two. You know, I was going to get salty AF if that was the case. But it didn't happen. Why? Because something seriously threw us off here. It seemed like Frost was going to double-cross Frieza. Like, we thought maybe he was going to do a cheap shot from behind, but that didn't happen. Okay, because first Frost kind of initially thought that Frieza was going to turn on him, because let's face it, Frost and Frieza, they're both the same, just two parts of the same coin, if you will. So they kind of knew that they were going to double cross each other. But then Frost stopped and he said, you know what, maybe Frieza won't double cross me, because it seems like he's going to get rid of Gohan. But my god, were we so wrong. Yes, it happened. And then we come to a scene where Frieza literally beats the hell out of Gohan to the point where Gohan is unconscious. And now this is where things get interesting. Frieza and Frost come to each other, and you know, Frost is like, you know, admiring Frieza for what he can do, and the fact that Frieza turned golden was something that Frost really admired. And you know, Frieza says to Frost, well, you too can achieve a form like this, maybe not golden, and then he transforms into his 100% form and says you should be able to attain this form at least, and then Frost goes ahead and does it. Now this is a scene I actually really enjoyed. I love the fact that they showed Frost and Frieza in their 100% form, kind of like they had some sort of a relationship going, something that I actually wanted to see happen. I wanted to see these two team up together, and you know the possibilities would have been endless. But then, you know, Gohan starts getting up and everybody's just like, okay, so Gohan is not knocked out. And then Frieza says to Frost, and also, you can't trust anybody. And then, BAM! Frieza eliminates Frost with one blast out of nowhere, a complete cheap shot, I might add. And it was like something that, you know, I wasn't predicting it. Honestly, I don't think any of us could have predicted that one. That was insane. I loved how they done that. That was very geniusly written. So well done to Toei and the writers and Akira Toriyama for writing that one there. That was awesome. I love that. Now this is where something very, very interesting and scary happens in the episode. When Frost realizes that Frieza double-crossed him, it made him so angry. I mean, you could see the rage in his eyes from this. And, you know, he wanted to get back at Frieza. So what does he do? He starts charging an attack to blast at Frieza. But then, raises the hand of the Zenos. And, whoosh, that was it for Frost. Frost was erased on the spot, saying that they can't attack from the sideline. And like, I was left speechless. You see my reaction. I was literally left speechless, and so was everybody else. I mean, the Zenos stated that if anybody tries to attack again, then Universe 6 will be erased on the spot. The Zenos, they may be like childlike, they may be kids or whatever, but they still are the gods of the multiverse, and whatever they say goes. That's it. That is it, dudes. Oh my good god. So basically this episode really threw us off with the, you know, the team up of Gohan and Frieza, because that was the plan all along. When Gohan was fighting Frieza at first, it seemed like Frieza was going to get rid of Gohan, but then Gohan kind of realized when Frieza gave him a look that they're actually working together and planning something in the background. Gohan got the hint, aided Frieza in his plan, and eliminated Frost. So I have to admit, this was well written. I love the twist in it. It got me surprised. You've seen my reaction. I'm sure you guys are the same as well. So basically, that does conclude the episode. Of course, we got some scenes where Goku and Ribrianne. Honestly, I don't really care for Ribrianne. I think she should be eliminated now. I've kind of lost interest in that character. And the fact that Goku is struggling a bit is kind of a pain. But hopefully, Goku will eliminate her soon. Because as we've seen from the next preview, yes, dudes, the 1 hour special. Goku versus Yardrat. It's happening. Now I'm going to do a separate video on the actual preview itself, so tune in for that later on, dudes. But that does end my review of this episode. Overall, a very well written episode, very well animated episode, and a great fight between Gohan and Frieza. A fight that turned out to be a double cross against Frost, and now Frost is no more. So bye bye Frost, nice knowing you, dude. Anyway, dudes, thank you so much for joining me for my review of Dragon Ball Super episode 108. Be sure to tune in next week as we check out more Dragon Ball related content, but the week after we have the 1 hour special, and I can't wait for it, dudes. I really can't. If you are new here and enjoyed this review, be sure to leave a sting on the subscribe button, and of course, if you enjoyed this review, be sure to leave it a thumbs up, a like, and that'll be super awesome also. And as always, dudes, stay geeky, stay cool, be awesome, and be happy. And I'll see you dudes in my next video. See you later, dudes.